Hey everybody, welcome back to Reachin Reverie. My name is Alex and thank you for choosing this video to watch today. Today's another one of those days where we are working on the shop and we've had a lot of amazing help from some friends of ours. And out of respect, I'm not wanting to really film a whole lot of what they're doing in the process for their privacy. But today we did get the roof, the tar paper taped down on the seams. We also put drip edge metal flashing all around the roof edge. We did angled flashing along the bottom where we're gonna start putting foam so we can prepare for stuccoing the outside. And we're also right now putting on house wrap around the exterior of the shop. Our goal today is to also go ahead and hopefully, if we can get to it, put the doors and windows in. And then we also finish off with treating the house with a borate salt to help prevent a termite infestation, as well as also prevent fungus like mold from creeping in to our shop. And it is a beautiful, beautiful, perfect day today. The sun is out, but it's only about 72 degrees right now, and we're already at, what time is it? We're already at about 2:30. So it's already, into the heat of the day, and we're at 72 degrees in September. Can't get better than that. Here you can see along the top we have that angled flashing drip edge installed, and we also have angled flashing around the bottom of the perimeter of the shop. We are going to be setting 1.5 inch thick foam board on top of this, and it'll go all the way up to the roof, and then over the foam board we'll be putting on the stucco. You can see here what our house wrap is going to look like. It looks like we're already going around and on the back side now, and we'll just wrap it and then do another layer, and this will help be a moisture barrier and weather protection on our structure until we can get that foam board and stucco in place.
Or I'll spray foam.
We're putting in some windows. We'd put shims on the inside on the bottom, screwing them in around the sides, and they're tucked in over the house wrap to keep that moisture out. Then we're going to come around and do the other side. So we did run out of house wrap today. We are going to have to go back to the store and get just a little bit to finish us off. All right, we got the first door in. Got the windows in on all three sides, or all three windows in. One more door to go. All right, so it is now the evening, and let me show you guys what all we did today. We did have a couple of friends come over and help us out today with some of our objectives, and we didn't record a large portion of our activities today just out of respect of their privacy. Started the day, of course, with the drip edge here. We also got a really good tape and taped down the seams on the roof where that tar paper is to prevent water leaks. We did run out of our house wrap, so first thing tomorrow morning we are gonna go get another roll and finish the job, and that's what we'll be working on tomorrow. We also got our windows and our doors put in. The only thing left to do on the windows is to tape around the edges with a window tape to help seal the windows in. We did get all of this installed just in time, and I mean just in time. So we started with the windows, and we have two doors. Seconds after the final door was installed, we got a downpour, and I mean downpour, and it rained good and solid, and we have a little bit of a muddy mess that we're walking through here, and we really got to test out this structure to see how well dried in it is. And It's doing pretty good. It was awesome that we had the windows and the doors in so we wouldn't have a lot of water going into the building. Of course, it would be more ideal if we could have had enough house wrap to cover the structure, but we really feel like somebody was looking out for us today because we literally, it's been feeling amazing the past couple of days outside, just feeling great. Beautiful weather, but every day this weekend we've had like 80+% chances of rain, and it's just been really overcast and beautiful and not raining, and so we've been really thankful. And then today, of course, was another day that they said it was likely gonna rain. We thought the rain was gonna come in the morning, and so we've been pushing and pushing to get this dried in, and it just felt so meant to be that seconds after this final door was put in, the rain came. Like, it waited, the weather waited until we did what we needed to do before it came down. So that's very good feeling there. We love this door. Our doors are steel, so nice, really solid doors. We've got this window and this door that can open. We do plan on installing a screen door on the other side so that we can open the windows, open the door, and have a nice cross breeze through here. Of course, we have the window in the bathroom. Ideally, we would have had this house wrapped before installing the window, but with the rain coming and when we had the help we had to install the windows, we took advantage of that and went ahead and got it installed. And we can go back in and tape the window and wrap around the window, but these are just screwed in right now. And nice and just beautiful windows. They do stick out just a little bit, but of course we are planning to stucco this building, and we will have 1.5 inch foam on top of this house wrap. So this will end up being flush and maybe even potentially slightly recessed when it's done, all said and done. We love how our soffits turned out with those vents to let the heat escape out of the attic. The door we did do flush with the plywood, and when we stucco it, of course, we'll have our 1.5 inch foam, bringing it out a little bit. And then we are thinking about also doing another layer of foam with stucco around the door frame. So the door will be recessed and it'll be trimmed out nice and pretty with stucco. The rest of the windows are the same, where they stick out just a little bit. There we go. So as far as the house wrap goes, this was the length of the roll, and so we were able to go the one roll's width back and around. We were using a different type of house wrap. That's actually like a stucco wrap over there, and we kind of were starting with using what we had, materials that we had first, hoping that it would be enough, because Josh did build an Airbnb cabin down south that he built and owns, and this was leftover material from that build, and so we were trying to be resourceful there. But of course we will have to go back and get one more roll so that we can finish the last little bits that are left uncovered. Luckily, with the height of this roll, it was really beneficial for doing the back wall. We can smooth this out a little bit. We just had our slap stapler and slap stapled this on, and we have really full coverage on this back wall. So we'll trim a little bit at the bottom, trim a little bit at the top, get this nice and flattened out. And then back to where we started, with just a little bit left needed at the top. The door that we have on this side is an in-swing. The door on the other side is an out-swing. And so we did an out-swing on that side to help conserve space. It won't take up any floor space to open it. And we did the in-swing on this side. That way we can attach a screen door, and we can have this door open while also having a screen door for a breezeway right here. And this door is a more simplified door. It is also a steel door, but it is just a slab flat and straight and simple to the point. Going into the building, of course, we don't have electricity yet, and it is getting dark outside, but it feels so cool that it is, for all intensive purposes, mostly dried in. Of course, you could see light coming in at the top right there. We'll put house wrap over that, and it's gonna get stuccoed. And we've got our windows and our doors. And look at that water there. Look at the water on the outside. That's so cool that we got these in time. We did forget to buy doorknobs. So Josh and I will be going to the hardware store tomorrow morning to get that last roll of house wrap and also some doorknobs for our doors that we forgot. So for now, until we get those doorknobs, we are going to be closing the door with these little plastic pegs. Hey, if it works, it works. They come with these pegs so that it holds the door shut while you're installing it and transporting it. And so we'll just stick that peg in to keep the door shut until tomorrow we can finish our job we started. We did get rain tonight, so let's go check our first flush. The first flush on our gutter system is where we collect that like initial debris that comes off of your roof before it goes into the water tank to help make sure that you're getting the cleanest water that you can. So this flush, the first flush, you can see our gutters from our RV port comes down. That is the first flush. And it catches things like bugs and dirt that collect on the roof. And the goal here, the objective is that when enough rain comes down to come down the gutter, it goes in and it fills up this tube first. And we get all the bugs and the dirt. And then once that's full, the clean water goes right over top into the tank. Oh, we forgot the bucket. So let's see what we got here. It's a good first flush, and look, we got bugs. We get a lot of these beetles in here, and Josh and I have this hypothesis that the beetles think that our roof to the RV is like water because it's reflective and shiny. So when they're flying in the air, they go and they land on the roof and then get stuck. And so then when our rain comes, they go into our first flush to get washed out. There's also a bunch of little bugs. I don't know if those are ants or gnats. Phew. So anyway, we take this first flush water and dump it on our trees who thank us in the desert, because even though it rained, we don't get very much rain. So we'll go and throw this on our trees. This is going to be our lucky tree today. Get that first flush water. Nothing wasted here. We do plan eventually to cut berms around the trees where we have like essentially areas that will retain water, and then we'll have even less waste there. So now I'll put this bucket back where I found it in this dry spot here. And this bucket sits here, it lives here because it sits underneath our little gutter on our RV. And this gutter is fed from the condensation of our air conditioning unit. So the water that's put off by the air conditioner drips down that gutter and it drops into this bucket. And I mean, when I say we try not to waste anything, we're even collecting these little drips into the bucket. And it probably, I don't even know, maybe gives us like 1/8 of an inch a week. But every little drop counts, and they also get watered onto our trees here in the yard. And if you missed it in one of my prior videos where I showed you the foam, this is what I'm talking about with that 1.5 inch foam that we're going to be covering the outside of our shop with, and then we're going to stucco over this. So there are methods of stucco where you put like the chicken wire and all of that stuff. We're not doing that. We're doing the easy way, as we call it. But the foam is really awesome in that it also provides more insulation to your building. So we're going to cover it in this foam, and then you take like a real coarse, like a sandpaper or something scratchy, and you scratch it to make the surface uneven, and then you stucco onto that and it'll stick to this foam. So this and that over there is our foam for the shop. And it's just so cool how it all panned out with it raining today. So we got to test all of the hard work that we put into this and feel the rewards of it paying off. So it is now the following weekend. We did think it was going to be the next day that we got the house wrap completed, but we did get a lot, and I mean a lot, of rain this past week, and it wasn't safe to house wrap the building because of how much mud there was. The ladders weren't secure. So we are going to plan on, now that it's finally drying up, we are planning on finishing our house wrapping tomorrow morning. You can see we're almost done. We just have a couple areas up top that we need to finish. Just the top on this side to finish as well. So with it being the following weekend from where this video started, that's not to say that we haven't been productive. Josh has been coming out here as he gets off work throughout the week, and now we are here at the next weekend, really ready to push with another productive weekend. And I have been working up at the duplex in town, packing and organizing and preparing to be moving out of that space, as our goal is to be moved out by the 1st of October. We are into the first week of September, so we are less than a month away from being out of our duplex, and so it is crunch time. It's becoming very real how much we have to do to make this space move-in ready. And so Josh has been working on the inside this week since the outside has been so rainy and muddy. But the benefits to having that much rain that we got this week is that is all water that is going into our water tank. And we do have this 3,000 gallon water tank that has been dutifully collecting water for us every time that we have moisture. And we are at about 1,500 gallons. 1,500 gallons. And we started about a week ago. I want to say we were closer to just under 1,000 gallons. So we did get a lot of water in our tank this past week. And this was just from our morning dew, and we did get just a little bit of moisture last night. So get this over here and we'll go water a tree. We are getting a lot of green all over the property with grasses and lots of these tumbleweeds that we don't like are very plentiful right now growing up, but we do appreciate when the desert really comes alive, and we like this green season that we're in. But one of our goals with this property is to try to get rid of as much of this Russian thistle, this tumbleweed, which is an invasive, which we really don't like out here. And that's something that I think is going to be a lifelong chore, coming out and picking a few tumbleweeds and throwing out some native plant life to replace it, as the tumbleweeds are vastly abundant. You can see the big old thickets of it, and when they die, they have shallow root systems, and then they blow away and are just a huge mess. And they're really prickly. Like if you brush up against them or go to pull them, they are a little bit uncomfortably prickly. I mean, everything is prickly. I'm over here talking about how tumbleweeds are prickly as I'm watering a agarita bush, but at least the agarita gives us berries and it's native. All right, there you go, agarita. And with all of this weather being so overcast and cloudy and moist and rainy, it's been starting to feel like fall. We jumped right in from summer to fall just overnight, it feels like. I mean, even today, it's a beautiful sunny day with a nice cool breeze, but it's not gonna get out of the 70s. And we can get used to that because here in West Texas and the Chihuahuan Desert, we're very familiar with those hot days that we can get as well. And while I've been embracing those cool weather vibes, I had my first pumpkin spice latte this past week. The season is back. And we're almost feeling that pressure of, wow, it's going by so fast and we're trying to get moved out of our duplex. I keep looking down because there's ants everywhere today. Don't want ants crawling on my legs. And it's really becoming really real as the weather is shifting, the days are becoming shorter, how much we still have to do to be where we want to be with moving into our shop. And so we feel like we are working overtime. I mean, Josh and I, we both have full-time jobs, and Josh is coming out here working after work every day. And then after work, I've been working at the other property in town trying to get ready for the move. And it doesn't feel like we've been having a whole lot of rest and relaxation. And so with this weather, it really felt like a forced break in a sense. I mean, as you can tell in one video we started last weekend and here we are this weekend, we did have some downtime, and I feel like we've really been embracing this weather and making the most of it, trying to slow down a little bit, be very intentional and mindful, and really enjoy this season that we're in as we're making memories and building the shop. But all that to say, things that Josh has been working on this week while I've been packing in the house and organizing the home is he has been working on electrical. And I know absolutely nothing about electrical, but let's go take a look at what he's working on, as we're hoping that by the middle of next week we can have our lights on and some ceilings going in. So again, tomorrow we'll be finishing this house wrap. Let's go see what he's been up to. We have our little porch to stay out of the mud coming into this. So inside, here we are in the shop. And you can see we do have some electric things in the works, and I have no idea anything about this, but Josh has been doing great. So he has some electric wires run. He has setups for where the outlet boxes are. You can see areas where he'll be having switches. And since this is gonna be his shop, he was proactive and has put outlets both high and low with the intent that later down the road he will be having like work benches, and that way he won't have to be reaching under his benches to plug things in. He can have things easily accessible at table level down the road. And you can see here the bathroom, and it was kind of cool the way it worked out. We're still hoping it'll end up working out this way, but we were looking at this box here in the bathroom for coming in and flipping on the light, and we are gonna have the shower here, and there will be a wall, and it's should line up just perfectly for this little box to be on the correct side of that shower wall with the wall that we're gonna build right here. So it's just enough room. And our windows that are in are working, so we've been opening them up while we're working in here to let some cross breeze come through. We do get pretty high and regular winds out here where we live. I know y'all have noticed listening to my videos, all of the wind in the background and everything, but it makes it really comfortable when we can open up the windows and work in here with a nice cross breeze where we have the doors open on one side and then all of these windows open on the other side to let that come through. So while Josh continues to work in here, getting the electrical all set up, I am gonna go outside and start wrapping those windows. Window wrapping, okay.
Ordered that task right there.
Or this task. I could stick with this task, but I'll go wrap your windows.
Yeah, I just do the 2 for right now.
And then we'll wait and do the other one once we get house wrap on it. The house wrap. We're gonna have to use this lock. It's all stuck. It's so new. I'm just gonna have to, this can be my job. I can sit here for the next hour and lock it and unlock it so it doesn't stick anymore. It's like, go wrap your windows.
Nice.
I like the handles you picked out.
The only ones that have the 2-pack.
Oh, it's the only one that had a 2-pack. Well, that's all right. It'll work for us. Very nice.
Fancy, I'm not fancy.
No, we don't need to be fancy. It's a shop. Get the job done.
It's just Josh's shop.
It's just Josh's shop. This is a pretty cool shop, you gotta admit. You're doing good. I was showing Jean, and she was wondering why we were gonna put plywood roof on, because she thought we'd use the attic for storage. But I think it'll be more energy efficient this way.
Be more energy efficient. I have been thinking about above that window, this end,
Uh-huh.
leaving the crawl space. And I was looking at that vent that I bought for the mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that exhaust vent that I bought?
Yeah, when you wanted to grow oyster mushrooms.
Some kind of mushrooms. Yeah, I was thinking about putting that fan in there. Like right now, we just don't have the time.
Is done. And what I'm doing is you start from the bottom and work your way up. That way water will shed over the tape. You don't want to work your way from the top down, because then there'll be lips where it can get up and under. So we window wrapped it from the bottom up and it looks great. So now I'm going to work my way around and we're going to window wrap this one next. All right, our next window has been wrapped and it looks good. And again, we started with the very bottom and then you overlap going up and then you overlap with the top piece so that water's always going to shed downwards and not get stuck on this tape. And look at this tape. See what that did? It's some real tarry, sticky tape. See, it's kind of rubbery. It's window flashing is another word for it, and I feel like it's awesome. Super, super sticky. It's kind of a real thick, black, tarry, sticky stuff on the backside, so it really seals up any gaps or holes, and it sticks really well. We like it. It looks good.
have enough to do the next last window?
We might have enough to do the last window. Yeah, so we actually recycled this tape from the last project that Josh worked on, and so we're hoping we have enough to finish the job. I'll go ahead and make my cuts so we know if we need to buy more, and we'll go from there. Look at this as I unroll it. When I tell you it's like a sticky tar, it's literally sticking to the paper on the next round on the roll as I'm trying to unroll it. So for our windows, the top and bottom are 34.5 wide for the window cuts, and the sides are 47. We might have enough. Let's cross our fingers. All right, we just need one more cut. Are we gonna do it? Come on, you can do it. Oh, there we go. I think we are. I think we're gonna have enough. That's gonna be enough. Down to the wire, but I think it's gonna do it. Good thing we only had 3 windows. Yeah, I'm glad you already had this tape. It's expensive. And then literally we had, after that last cut, about 11.5 inches left over. Wow. No, I just was cutting it to make sure we had enough. I was just cutting it to make sure we had enough. All right. After the cuts for the final window right here, the 4 pieces, we have 11.5 inches left over. So we are glad we only did 3 windows because that's all the tape we got, and we didn't want to buy a whole nother roll. So that worked out perfectly. So while I was outside working super hard wrapping those windows, Josh has gotten done. He did these outlets, getting the outlets put into the boxes. And look, he's still not done. So who do we think is working harder here? I finished my job.
Game on.
No, I think we all know who's working harder, right? Yeah. Since I worked faster than Josh today, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm gonna start helping him strip some of these wires down so that we can get outlets and switches and things put into these boxes. So that's what we're gonna do. It's really windy out there.
Yeah.
You should have seen me fighting with the window wrap. Oop. Hitting myself over here. There we go. Okay, I did one. How many more do we have?
Maybe all the ones over there.
All right.
That's all I know. Getting there.
Good. Ow.
Don't you ow nothing.
Just trying to close the knife on my finger, that's all.
You pull it out, huh? You start calling it slice?
Don't call me Slice, you're already calling me Crash. I like this job. You know, everybody remembers that one, the wire with the like bicycle tire outside and then the metal inside. Like, this is a piece of cake.
What?
That real thick one that you had me do that had like bicycle tire material on the outside and the inside it had that. Huh?
You mean rubber?
Yeah, it had rubber. It had rubber outside, and you know what I mean. It had that copper armor sheath over it, and the
Yeah, we're gonna have to be
waterproof,
playing with that again, maybe.
icky pick.
Hopefully not.
This is a piece of cake. What is this? This yellow stuff.
Oh, Romex.
Romex. I think it's my knife that's making this job really easy. I like my little knife.
Good.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. This is the first knife I ever got. My dad got me at Cabela's back when I was like, I don't know, 14. Josh is working on that section right there, and meanwhile, I have gone ahead and stripped all of the wires that need stripping and got those ready. And this is kind of cool. He helped himself out by labeling what each of the wires are for. So you could see like shower light, bathroom light, power in, different things like that. And then we have these ready to go. And you can see some of these outlets are already done. So we are planning to have a ceiling fan in the middle, and then we're gonna have 4 like recessed lights in the shop as well. And then we'll also have a porch light out either side. All right, so Josh and we did finish up with where we are gonna be for our electrical today. And tomorrow morning we're gonna come back out. We're gonna finish wrapping this in house wrap, and we'll go from there, you guys. We're gonna hope to start putting foam for our stucco on the building tomorrow as well. This afternoon, I did also have a friend stop by, and we took some native grass seeds out to the leach field, and I got my pitchfork and I kind of raked some little rows and divots into the ground so that the grass can get down in there and have some penetration into the soil so that it could actually have a chance to grow, because I do feel like a lot of the grass seed that I put out there either washed away or blew away with these high winds that we've been having. And so we really wanted to give them their best shot, and so we aerated some of that soil just a couple inches, put some grass in, lightly covered it with the soil, and we're hoping that we'll have some grass growing in the leach field, because that is the goal here. Eventually, I do think that the septic will help water that field, but because we just put the septic in, it's not super moist over in that area yet, and so I do think it's going to take a while for things like grass to establish. We had a guest come in and check us out. Can you see what prints were left in our ATV? It was all in here. Look at those little 5-finger prints. We had a little raccoon come and climb all in the ATV checking it out. could see his prints in the mud as well. We also have a little fox that is coming around and going underneath the shop. You can see his little foxy prints right here, and we're pretty sure it's a fox and not a domestic cat, because one, the toes are a little more pointy than a cat's, we think, and also sometimes in his prints we are seeing claw marks, and typically with felines you don't see the claw marks as much as like a dog. And so because we've seen those, we do think it may be a canine that's going up under here. So a little fox. We do have an abundance of gray foxes that live in the area. Not like your typical red fox, they are just a little bit smaller, but they do still pose a threat to things like cats and chickens and other things like that. So with the raccoons literally playing in the ATV and the fox literally climbing up under the house, we are still apprehensive about bringing our chickens out here until we can guarantee that they're going to be safe. So they are still living in town at the duplex. Well, my friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This is where we are going to leave off for this video, but stay tuned for the next one. We do have more exciting things coming up in the future. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That way you can stay up to date each step of the way as we are building this shop one video at a time. This is also a homesteading video, so there will be more content and a big, wide diversity of videos coming out. Things like gardening, livestock husbandry, and of course, a little bit of building too. So a little bit of everything. We like to look at what kind of wildlife is here on the property. We like to see how we can steward this land well, and we'd love for you guys to join us along the ride.